Hey everyone, first I'd like to thank all of you guys that have purchased the Capitalize in the Clothing program here. We're going to start this lengthy type video here, and I'm going to teach you some stuff about selling clothing on eBay, how to make money, 2015 and moving forward. This is all stuff that I have used for my business, guys. It's worked for my business. I'm making really good money doing this. So whether you're part-time or you're full-time, I believe there's some golden nuggets in this information I'm about to present to you. And what's the most importantly is you have to understand that you have to implement this. You just can't go out there and diddly-daddly. You can't. You got to go out there and use this information. That's how you're going to be most successful with this paid information, is you have to implement it. You have to use it for your business. And again, find some tips and tricks. Maybe you got something else, you see from here that sparks an interest. Again, what I recommend you doing right now is to get a pad of paper out and a pen and start writing down some of this stuff. Again, you can always come back to this video and or pause it if you got stuff to do, whatever it may be. It's always going to be here. So let's just jump right into the video here, guys. Let's get into this, right? Who wants to make some money? Let's make some money today. Okay, so I believe this is a game changer. I believe this information I'll be talking about hasn't been discussed publicly that I've seen. And but what I need you to do is I need you to open your mind, all right? I need you to have a clear, clean slate, okay? And you just got to understand whatever you've been told or whatever you've been doing, right? Just take all this in and see how you can implement it in your business. Again, take notes, all right? Note-taking is great. You can always reflect on it. You can look at it and always find ways to improve, right? That is the biggest thing when it comes to selling online, is adapting and understanding when things are changing, when things aren't working. And if you can get ahead of the curve, that's the best thing to do, because everything in, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's eBay, Amazon, Etsy, or whether you're selling cars or whatever it is, there's all these different paths you can go down to. And that's how life is. It's just it's one big journey, and it's up to you to determine where you want your journey to go. Just like the picture shows here, there's all these different directions. What I need you to do right now is start focusing on eBay and clothing. So yeah, price points, guys, is huge. You have to understand price points, and let's briefly talk about this, right? Price points. What I mean by that is you have to understand buying low and selling high. Okay, you have to understand that you can't go out there and pay, the Goodwill asking price of $9.99 on a standard Ralph Lauren polo shirt. Okay, that's just not feasible. Those days of selling Ralph Lauren polo shirts, basic shirts for $30 are gone. Okay, now you can still go out there and price those items higher, and occasionally you might get a bite, but I'm talking about moving product on a weekly basis, getting money into your bank account and moving forward, right? That's all it is. Buying low and selling high. Understanding how these clothing items sell, what their price points are, what customers are looking for. If you can figure that out and master that skill, and you can list items on a rapid basis, and you're constantly putting up new inventory on your eBay store, you're going to be successful. Okay, eBay is far from dead. eBay is an amazing tool. I've been using it since day one, and I've been selling clothing, guys, for 15 years. Okay, so this clothing is not dead. There's opportunities every day. I'm making money every day, and I'm going to show you how to do this, so you can start making some money, whether it's an extra $100 a month, or you're moving from part-time to full-time. So what we need to do right now is we need to create a game plan. Okay, we need to create a game plan and just make it happen. Okay, nothing can, you're going to get all excited here right now and go, yeah, I want to do this and do this. But if you're going to stay away from the game plan in a month from now, you're never going to find success in this, guys. You're just never going to be able to do that. So taking steps is crucial. Baby steps, it's very important. Setting goals, it's very important. Create a goal. Hey, I want to list 50 things today. You can do this. And I'm going to show you how you can do this with clothing, okay? But you have to keep moving forward, and you have to keeping your eye on the prize. Once you're not focused anymore and you're distracted, this is when things fall apart. I mean, guys, I talk to thousands of resellers. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people, and the hardest thing for people to grasp is time management. Okay, they get lost in space, right? There's so many distractions in this world, guys. I mean, I'm a family guy. I got kids. There's distractions there. I got a wife. There's distractions everywhere you go. But if you can stay focused and just put the pedal to the metal and implement what I'm going to tell you here, you're going to make a lot of money. Okay, you're going to make a lot of money. So let's go. Let's move forward here. All right, so we have a plethora of stuff we're going to be talking about here, and it's mostly all dedicated to selling clothing on eBay, guys. Selling clothing. I mean, we live in such a time right now where we can make money selling used clothing. Who would have ever thought? Think about it. Who would have ever thought you can make money going to thrift stores and buying people's old clothing? It's amazing. You know, we live in a world right now where the economy is kind of shaken up. The demographics are all over the place. I just was reading a study today about 1 in 2 Americans make less than $40,000 a year, and the number's dropping. I mean, so there really is no excuse right now for you to say, hey, I can't make any money, because there is money, guys. E-commerce is a money grab, right? Whether it's eBay or Amazon or any of these third-party softwares or platforms, or even your own e-commerce, right? It's all about where do you want to be. How hard are you going to work at doing it, and are you going to stay motivated? If you can do that and manage that for just do me 6 months, test it out, you're going to make some money, and you're going to go, yes, right, I finally figured this out. But it all comes down to you. So we're going to go over some basic stuff here, because I think this whole system I'm put together here, it's going to start from newbies to people that maybe have sold a couple items here to advanced resellers, right? So I wanted to include it all in here. So let's get started. What are you going to need? I mean, you're going to need some basics, guys, right? You're going to need a computer or a mobile device. Now, you're going to need these so you can list the items online, right? And nowadays we live in such a fast-paced world. The technology is amazing. You can use your iPhone or your Droid or your iPad to do all the work for you. You really could. And I mean, you could be sitting on the couch photographing, watching TV, right? Talking to your kid, doing their homework, and listing, all right? We live in a mobile society right now, and if you don't have these tools, especially the mobile devices, I think it's time for you to invest in one of them, right? Those days of sitting in front of the desktop, yeah, I still do it, right? Because I'm kind of old school, but you can fully swing this whole operation just off of an iPad or an iPhone. You really could. So yeah, you're gonna need something that has a camera, and there's a lot of talk here with selling clothing. Do you need to go out and buy the $1,000 Nikon? No, you don't. You don't, guys. I mean, these are myths. These are those are nice cameras. The quality is amazing on them, sure. But, if you're starting off, you don't need any of that, guys. You could just use your iPhone camera. The cameras on these things are pretty nice. I mean, you can get a simple point-and-shoot camera for $100 on Amazon. That'll do the trick, too, for mobility, right? So you don't need all this crazy, expensive gadgets to start, okay? Lighting. I do think lighting is important, okay? And as you'll see through the rest of this program and some of the videos, you'll see my lighting setup. There's links to where you can purchase all these items. But you don't need to go out and spend money on the lighting. You don't need to spend the $50 to go to the lighting. Just find an area in your house that has well-lit light. Find out times of the day when you can photograph there, and just take advantage of it. It's all about the light is really what it is. You need the light to shine through so you can pick up the color in your clothing items. That's it. All right, that's it. You need clean backdrops. You need stuff like that. But you don't need to get all this stuff. You don't need to go spend $400 on all this lighting or mannequins. And we're going to talk about that. Mannequins. Okay, I only use a mannequin nowadays for selling blazers, sports coats, suits, jackets. I've eliminated the mannequin from my clothing business in terms of T-shirts, dress shirts, sweaters, right? And it's made a huge impact. Now, you got to understand, right? And we're going to get into that here. We're talk about the differences between the mannequin and laying items flat. But to start, you don't need a mannequin. I mean, you really don't. It doesn't even matter. Nobody's concerned about it. Buyers, they don't care. I'm just telling you this right now. So the mannequin, again, take into consideration if you're new to selling clothing, watch this whole presentation, see where it's at, and then you decide if you need one. But me personally, I don't think you need one to start. Okay, backdrops again. I have in a video where we talk about the poster boards. So you have white and black poster boards. You can go get 3 of them for $4 each, or $2 each, or go to the dollar store. And for literally $10, you can have a nice little setup, right? You're also going to need some measuring tape, lint rollers. I prefer Febreze, the non-allergic type, just to spray on the clothing. A lot of people ask me all the time, do you wash every piece of clothing? I don't. I mean, unless there's some type of stain I'm trying to get out, or if there's something really wrong with it, then, yeah, I'm going to wash it. But if it's a vintage T-shirt, no way I'm washing that, All that adds up, and that's time. I mean, how much money you want to put into your product? Again, this is used clothing, guys. Used clothing, right? I saw a lot of things with stains, holes, broken buttons, and as long as you describe these items correctly, you're good. But this is all you need, okay? And then you need some clear poly bags to package your items in. That's what I prefer. Or you could just put the shirt right into a shipping bag, a poly bag, and then slap the label on. That's it. These are very basics. I mean, this is why, I was sitting there at night and I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, in my first video on YouTube, I was talking about clothing, 5 years ago, wherever it was. And it's just because I wanted to help people, and I wanted to go out there and talk about something that I think everybody can utilize and make money starting today and tomorrow. And that was clothing. And looking back on that, nothing's changed. The only thing that has changed is, yes, there's more competition, right? But at the same time, all the opportunity is still there from 5 years ago or 10 years ago when I was selling clothing, guys. You just have to learn to adapt and understand and build systems and find ways to list faster, smarter, and utilize your dollar, right? We're going to get into a lot of stuff here, guys, about making money with clothing, and there's different approaches, there's different systems, and we're going to get through all that. Okay, details matter, guys. They really do, okay? But we just need to understand short and sweet is the best method for this, right? Short and sweet. We don't need to have, 20,000 paragraphs of stuff, okay? All we need in here is measurements. I like to personally copy the title of the item and drop it in my description, okay? I leave the condition there, and I have a disclaimer. It's very important for the disclaimer. We don't need to write a short novel, guys. It's just basic information. People are on the go. They're on the fly. They're buying it more and more every month from their mobile devices. And believe it or not, some people aren't even looking at the description, okay? But you have to make sure that it's well written, it's in their face, it's there, right? Because it's going to protect you, right? And again, the details matter so much, because when you have these details, this template I like to call, it makes life easier when you're selling the same items, whether it's a men's dress shirt, or it's a t-shirt, or it's a blazer, right? Obviously, blazers, there's more in-depth information and what you need to, more measurements, stuff like that. But, this is the whole point of it, guys. So here's my listing, right? Nike Dry Fit Boom Blue Graphic t-shirt, right? So we have that. We have the condition note, lightly worn. If there was any stains or anything wrong with it, that's where I would continue on, with the rest of the sentence. Size, color, material, which all three of those are bullet points that you need to fill out anyway on your eBay listing. So legitimately, you can remove those three. I keep them there just because, it's just my way, and I've been doing it so long that it's just natural for me. But you can remove the size, color, material. The most important thing here is pit to pit and top to bottom. Now here's where I come up. Here's my disclaimer. All clothes we sell are pre-worn unless otherwise noted. No returns due to sizing issues or buyer's remorse. Now, I offer returns, right? And you're going to get returns for selling clothing. It's just the inevitable. And there's nothing you can do except the return and move on, right? Somebody else will buy that product. But I do mention that there, so people do go, oh, wait a minute. All right, let me make sure that this shirt's going to fit me. I also mention here, all clothes should be washed first. We do not wash clothing due to allergic reactions some detergent may cause. Please refer to pictures and description for details. That's it. Short, sweet, to the point. If you can utilize that, this makes life a lot quicker, right? We don't need to go on and tell our life story about this t-shirt and how you wore it to the 82 Tom Petty concert. You know what I mean? Nobody cares, okay? And we're selling clothing here. Again, we're selling used clothing. We're not selling a Ferrari. Pricing. It's inevitable. I mean, this is what it comes down to. This is what makes you successful. This is what makes you sell more items than most people, is pricing. And this is how you make money, let's face it, right? The buy. Buy it as low as possible. Buy as low as possible. Find the quality over the quantity. Now, if you're finding that you can get fill-a-bag sales at the thrift stores out by you, they're a quarter, and you can stuff 20 retro or basic graphic t-shirts in there, yeah, then quantity is a must there, right? But again, you're buying low. You can't lose buying t-shirts for a quarter, guys. I mean, you can't. Or going to garage sales and picking up, Simpson t-shirts for 10 cents. It's out there, right? It's the overspending. It's the buying high to begin with. When you're buying high, you're leaving no room for margin for yourself. going back to that $9.99 polo shirt at Goodwill. You're not going to be able to make a profit, and you're going to go out of business if you keep up with that routine. You really will, because a lot of times you can't make money off those. Okay, you just got to find the opportunities, and this video here isn't to talk about how to source, where to go. I'm assuming you guys know thrift shops, garage sales, flea markets, the typical stuff. Staying competitive. How do you stay competitive with eBay? Do you do free shipping or do you charge for shipping? It's up to you, really. It doesn't really matter in terms of eBay's algorithm. I do free shipping on items that, and I'm just focused on clothing here. I do free shipping on items that are in the eBay stores, whether it's buy it now or best offer. I charge shipping every single time when I do an auction. Every single time. You got to understand, is your item first class? Is your item priority, right? Those hits of $8, especially when you're selling stuff that's under $20 at an auction, it can make or break your sale, right? It can make or break a positive profit to a loss. Again, price points. I mean, understanding the price points is crucial. Spending time researching, looking up what products sell for, that's a key. And testing new brands, all right? We're going to go talk about a lot of different brands here. There's the other PDF that shows about 50 different brands. But just don't get stuck with your niche brands, your bread and butter brands. Always start looking at other opportunities out there and giving things a whirl. Throwing other items out there and say, hey, let me see if this Nautica shirt will sell. If you're getting it for $1 or $2, roll the dice. You might be onto something, right? Same with some of these other brands. Always research, always educate yourself, and take some bit of a little risk. Don't go out there and spend $200 on all these Nautica shirts. Go test it first. And say, hey, wait a minute, I kill it with Nautica on auction. That's what's going to make you a well-rounded clothing reseller, is you're always going to be looking at other things. If you're only going to the thrift stores just to look for Ralph Lauren Star Wars, you're missing out. Okay, we're gonna tap into some vintage here. We also talk about all these different name brands, but I think it's crucial as somebody who's been around the block for a while. I'm always researching things. Guys, there's always something when I'm at a thrift store that I actually have to look up, Even clothing. I'll be like, I don't know what this is. A lot of times it's shoes. And just that extra time that, hey, wait a minute, let me just take a little gander here. Let me throw this in the cart, go around the store, and let's play eBay completed listings, right? And look it up. And you'd be surprised. You do that, it cuts down the time frame. We live in such a great time period right now, guys, where we have the technology at our hands. Back when I was doing this and there was no smartphones, it was hit or miss, So we have all the tools, to be successful. And, let's just get in this here. But, get into the staying competitive mind frame. It's a key because there's so much competition in clothing. But I think a lot of people are just not using the right approach. And I'll be honest, I think there's a lot of set it and forget it. It's awesome to have 1,000 item eBay store. That's how you make $100,000. No, that's furthest from the truth, right? I believe those set it and forget it mentalities. It depends on what your business is, right? If you want to utilize that. I'm going to show you options here where it's fast track, it's auctions, it's having sales. But when you're having an eBay store, and you're not creating sales, you're missing out. If you're not utilizing that markdown manager on a weekend, starting at, let's say, Thursday night till Sunday night, you're missing sales because I'm using this, other people are using this mentality and saying, hey, listen, we don't want to have large eBay stores. What's the point in that, right? Yeah, it looks cool. Oh, look at all these items he's got in here. What do you do? I want to know what sells. I want to know how much money is in my pocket. That's all I'm concerned with. That's all you should be concerned with. Not about, we're doing pretty well. We have 400 items in our eBay store. Whoop-de-doo. I've seen people with 3,000 clothing items in their store, and their sell-through rate is 1%. They've sold 40 things in 90 days. That's not killing it. You know who's killing it? When you look at somebody who's got an eBay store of, let's say 600 items, and you look at their complete listings and they've sold 2,000. That's killing it. That's making money. There's a big difference there. Big difference. So how do we list more? Okay? I think this is a big question everybody's been asking. Especially me lately, I've been posting, hey, I can list this amount, and I'm telling you, it is flat. Laying items flat, guys. As you can see right here, this Under Armour picture, it's laid flat. It looks presentable. This is how it looks like when you shop online, guys. Or if you go to, Macy's and you're looking at men's dress shirts, they're not all on mannequins. You're not pulling these items off mannequins to buy them. They're already folded up, or they're on a hanger, right? And they're good to go. But utilizing that flat method versus mannequin saves you so much time. So much time. And I encourage everybody right now, if you've never done the flat system, I think I'm going to convince you when we're done with this video. Because I think I pride myself on taking nice photos. And this system works for me, guys, right? Laying it flat, honestly, look at yourself right now and say to yourself, is that picture presentable? Yes, it is. It is, and it's sold for good money. Get away from this mannequin type atmosphere, especially when it comes to t-shirts, dress shirts, polos, right? You can use the flat mentality to photograph just one or two. I mean, I could just get away with just this one photograph, guys, on a listing. I don't need to have 17 different angles and look how cool it looks on the mannequin. Let me spin it over on the back to show the same pattern it is on the front. That's waste of time. You're not calculating your time. You're not managing it correctly. And go back to being simple. eBay is simple, right? Use it and understand if you can cut down your time frame from going from mannequin to flat, you're ahead of the game. You're going to be able to list, oh gosh, who knows how many. You have to just do it yourself. But realistically, you should be able to knock out 50 items in 2 to 3 hours. And that is being conservative, guys. I'm talking, if you got 3 hours and you are photographing laying flat, you're listing these items, and this is attainable. It really is. I mean, I think you could do a lot more than 2 to 3 hours. But I'm just telling you right now, if you spend your time wisely and you dedicate it yourself, you should be able to do this without a doubt, And you can have auctions ending every day of the week, right? And putting money in your pocket. It's all about creating systems to speed up the tasks, right? And again, keep it simple. You have to keep it simple, right? If you're making it too complicated for yourself because you saw some video online and said, "Oh, I've got to get the mannequin. That's the next step." That's never the next step. That is a step, yeah, maybe for the blazers, right? But the other aspects of it, no. This is just a perception, and then this is the biggest thing is you got to understand. If you can speed up time, if you can slow down time, it's huge, right? You can slow down time and you can maximize and put out an extra 30 more items today than you did yesterday by just changing something in your process, you're going to win. It's called creating a system. And always test these things, guys. I encourage you grab grab your iPhone or Droid, put your clock counter on there. See how long it takes you to photograph a shirt. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 2 seconds? Think about it. How long does it take now to list that item on the eBay app? Right? You just upload the photo, crop. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that took another 10 seconds, let's say. Okay, now I got to go through and just measure this, do all this. You should be done in and out in a minute. You could be, right? If you just make it simple for yourself. So that's the big thing. Now, listing more means, okay, that's great. We get more items online, but does that mean things are going to sell faster? No, you need the auctions. You need the auction madness. And this is what I like to call the auction madness. $2 entry-level price plus the shipping, okay? Again, if your price points and you're paying $7.99 for an item, using the $2 plus shipping mentality is probably not the best business decision, right? You can test things. And again, this is just my method because most items I'm getting are 50 cents to $1, okay? So even if I get one bid at the $2 plus my $4 shipping, I'm still making a profit. It's a small profit, but I'm here to list these items, get some engagement, get some bidders, get some watchers, get traffic to my store, right? And capitalize on eBay, right? Using eBay for its algorithm. When you start pricing stuff at $2, Under Armour, you know how many views you're going to get? And I'll show you this, guys. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. It's just moving this stuff. Again, this is used clothing. Why are we holding on to it? Why are we hoarding, Fasanable shirts for $50, guys? Nobody's ever going to buy them. You know what I'm saying? Set it, list it, forget it, and then have it ship out. Have items end on Sundays. Sundays are my biggest day on eBay with auctions. Okay, they've always been that way. They're like that in the summertime. They're like that in the wintertime. And again, find your own day. Mondays rock, Tuesdays rock. Every day rocks in eBay. Stuff is selling. There's buyers there all day long. You just got to find a system that works for you. Okay. And also what this does, this auction madness, it guarantees payouts. You're creating your own paycheck. When you're listing and setting it and forgetting it, and you're just building an inventory on your eBay store, are you really guaranteed a paycheck? No, you're waiting for the next buyer to buy something from you, right? And that's where, these rolling blackouts occur, or these sales gaps where you're like, dude, I haven't sold anything in 3 days. Yeah, because why? That's just how it is now. There's too many sellers on eBay. And the way to get around that is to use this method I use, the auction madness. $2. You're pretty much forcing products on the eBay market. Then they sell. The sell-through rates on these guys when you start price pointing things is tremendous, and I'll show you all that here. But the guaranteed payouts. You set up 200 auctions that end Sunday, you're guaranteed a paycheck. You do that every week, you're guaranteed a paycheck. Okay? You're guaranteed money this week. You can go shopping Monday, set it all up for Sunday, and next Monday, you're within a week's time, you're shipped all these items out, majority of them, and you've made some money. That's the name of the game, fast cash, right? And then the stuff that doesn't sell, well, guess what? Relist it, throw it in your eBay store at a higher price, guys, right? I mean, again, you're creating a paycheck. You want to be able to create a paycheck. When you can't create a paycheck, you are sitting out there like, I would say 90% of the new resellers that are out there going, stuff's not working for me, I give up, I quit, I can't do this. Okay? I'm giving you, this is my insider tip, guys. This is huge. This is how I've been able to keep afloat. This is why, there is really no slow times for me. Sometimes, yeah, of course, occasionally, there's times where, hey, the things don't sell or this is that, and that's just part of the beast, but I'm actively going after the gold, okay? I am running after the train, and I'm trying to rob it from silver, right? That's what I'm doing. I am not sitting on the couch watching the train drive by and go, hey, man, nothing's selling, or looking in the Facebook groups. Man, how does that guy keep selling all these things? I'm making an effort, and this is what this all is. This is an effort, it's a system, and it's something that you can use for your business. Now, we've gone from that. I just completely explained to you that it was the golden nugget. That's how you're going to rock and roll that. We're going to move into some other stuff here, vintage. Why vintage? It's a growing market, guys. It's a growing market. It's always going to be growing. There's always nostalgia, and kids that were born in the 90s are looking for stuff that was in the 90s. Just like I'm looking for stuff that was in the 70s and 80s. Okay, and it's never going to end. It just depends on what is the next vintage item. Who knows, right? But looking at this and understanding this, spending some time researching, finding and pulling out the vintage items out of the thrift stores or wherever you're sourcing from is tremendous. Okay, it's a growing market. I mean, I recommend Etsy for it all, eBay as well, but we'll get into that. But why do I like vintage so much? Because of the profit margin. I mean, here, this MC Hammer shirt, $2, sold for $70. You can run around all day long to try to find brand name shirts, newer shirts. Those profits aren't there, or it's going to be almost impossible to find those ones. But you could do them religiously by looking for vintage, but you got to keep your eyes peeled. Again, these are one-off products with very little competition. A lot of times you'll be the only guy selling the MC Hammer shirt for size large. And you're waiting for the one buyer. But what sells vintage? Okay, guys, t-shirts, sweaters, flannels, jackets, jerseys, belts, ties, blazers, hats, shorts, pants. That's enough right there to do some serious damage at the thrift store. You do the whole course. You're running through it, okay? And you're going to find stuff, okay? And, just constantly research, look up complete listings, look on Etsy. But, where is the best place to list? I'm going to give you my personal opinion on this. And does vintage sell on eBay? Yes, all the day long. I've moved all my vintage to Etsy. I've moved it all over there, and I've got a good sized following over there, guys. I mean, I'm making really steady money just selling vintage clothing on Etsy, and it's just something I wanted to get away from with eBay. I didn't want to sell any more vintage on there. I'm selling stuff at a higher price on Etsy. The fees are lower, and really for me with this whole vintage thing, it's a set it and forget it. This is where the set it and forget it makes a difference, because you can't hurry vintage. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. If you find a killer concert shirt 82, you can throw it to auction and let it roll, yeah. But from my experience, you're waiting for the one buyer. And this is where the set it and forget it mentality works in my favor and for my business, is I just buy the stuff, list it the same way I do on eBay, and throw it to Etsy and set it and forget it. I throw it in a box. And I'm getting sales, guys, right? You're waiting for that one particular buyer, and they're there, and they show up. And during these hot times of the year, the Q4s after January, quarter one, or if you're in the sports and you're getting a lot of sports vintage gear, and let's say the Cubs win the World Series, and you got a boat ton of Cubs vintage stuff, you're going to win, all right? Whether it's sports stuff, concert stuff, grunge-looking flannels, 90s hip-hop and rap, People are buying this stuff right now, guys. There's different types of people. There's people that want to be the mall shopper, right? They all want to wear the same clothing at the club, right, or at the football game, like everybody else that went to Sports Authority. And there's people like, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I'm tired of all this, and I'm not buying the $8 JCPenney shirt. I'm going to go online and find a kick butt shirt and something nobody has. And trust me, it's a different mentality. I like wearing the vintage personally because it's unique. And but once you start getting that vibe of the vintage, man, it's an addiction, really. I mean, you start finding all these cool shirts, like, oh my god, I got to keep that. But yeah, we're not going to get too much into the vintage here. I'm going to show you some 25 items that I've sold on Etsy and the price points and stuff like that. But this is something to consider. This is definitely something to consider. So here we go. 25 items that I've sold on Etsy. Let's go through these here. I'm just going to I'm not going to give a value to these, honestly, because honestly, I want you to kind of get more of a visual, you know what I mean, of what we have here. Okay? I want you just to kind of get a visual. I want you to get an understanding of what we're looking at. So this first one here, this one here is an Adidas. I like to call it the Run DMC type look. They bring good money. All right. This one's a Big Lebowski type sweater. It's not the exact same one from the movie, but it's Pendleton and it's collectible. I mean, it brings good money. This next one here is a Chicago Bulls crew neck. You can't beat 90s Michael Jordan, anything Chicago Bulls, especially the crew necks. There's excellent money in them. Again, guys, this is all items that I've sold, and this is my vibe for clothing on Etsy. So I'm not trying to throw out price points. If you're interested, I could tell you what they sold for down the road, but I think you get the point. Coogee sweater, okay, Coogee's. This one here, I got excellent money on that one from just Etsy. I mean, probably $50, $60 more than I would on eBay. Cross colors, again, 90s, late 80s hip hop type street style shirts. Racing jackets, guys. Those sell these striped jackets. I mean, you find them, pick them up. Grateful Dead t-shirts all day. 3D Emblem Harley Davidson t-shirts. Crazy sports graphic t-shirts. Like this is, what is that? Indiana Hoosiers. Bobby Knight throwing a chair. Champion jerseys. Yep. Hypercolor. Western wear. Just crazy looking pearl snap shirts. Funky designs. Embroidery. All that stuff sells. Lacoste jackets. Members only jackets. Denim. Right. Vintage Nike. I mean, anything look at that shirt. It's kind of the big block type style, the big, strong, bold stripes. I mean, it's unique. Nirvana concert shirts, obviously. Sports t-shirts, Pearl Jam, band shirts, starter jackets, chalkline jackets. All these jackets, guys, sports related. Rayon tri-blend shirts. If you don't know what those are, they're very collectible. They will sell very fast for you. It's basically a shirt that was made in the 80s. That is a cotton polyester rayon blend. And once you touch your first one and you go, hey, this is unique. And you'll see these throughout the thrift stores. And when you grab them, doesn't matter what the subject matter in there. If it says it's Granny's, 50th birthday party, pick it up because people are buying them. I have buyers in Malaysia and Japan that will pay me X amount of money for them, no matter what the subject matter is. A lot of times you're going to find them. They're going to be these ringer T-shirts, right? Or they're just going to be a solid gray shirt. But look those up for sure. Just flip the tag, and you'll see you'll basically see whether it's cotton, polyester, or rayon. There's big money in those. Scorpions, concert shirt, the Raglans 3/4 sleeves. Just crazy shirts like this. I survived 122 degrees in Arizona. Just basic vintage graphic T-shirts. I mean, I've sold some T-shirts, guys, over the years that it's just like, you never expect it, but I look at it and go, hey, I could see somebody buying this. I'd see somebody wanting this, right? Just think outside the box. Anything Taz, Looney Tunes, then you entice the sports thing in there. It's a win. Stuff like this. This was like a late 70s Wisconsin Badgers football shirt. I mean, stained, beat up, holes. I mean, it was pretty nasty, and stuff like that sells. People don't mind the distressed look. Softball jerseys, guys. People buy that stuff, right? I mean, it's all about the subject matter. The straight polyester, gold and black, Wolfpack, You can't see some, hipster walking down the road with his ripped up blue jeans and the Wolfpack shirt, So, if you're not looking at the vintage market, I I would recommend everybody look into it. There's a plethora of money to be made there, and the opportunity is never going away. It's never going to be crowded, right? Again, it's the set it and forget it mentality, right? Set it and forget it, and utilize these other things, guys. You set up your Etsy store as a set it and forget it program. Use your eBay clothing to force traffic every week with auctions. Then dabble in Amazon, dabble in all this stuff, and create this big chunk of pie, and you'll start making some really good money. All right, thrift store T-shirts. All right, I dominated, guys. I mean, I don't know how many T-shirts I've sold. Probably 1 million. I know that sounds absolutely crazy to some of you guys. I've sold so many shirts, guys. You've been doing this for 15 years. It tends to add up, and it's just a staple I have, guys. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest staples I have in my business is T-shirts, and it's the subject matter that sells. It's the subject matter that sells. But the way I want to talk to you right now about this is explain to you that they're everywhere. You're never going to have a shortage on T-shirts. They're everywhere. Again, it depends on your area, where you live, what your thrift store's pricing is on them, but they're everywhere. So you can make a good living just flipping T-shirts on eBay, straight auction, $2 with $4 shipping, and just letting the market demand the price. They're easy to photograph, guys. They're easy to ship, and you can make it a fast flip business or hold out for long-term price, right? You can set this right now, this Nike shirt for $2. And $4 shipping, get a couple bids, maybe it goes for $8 or $9, or you can hold out and try to get 20 for it, right? It's up to you. You have to decide what business you want. All right, and I think if you're doing clothing, you should be definitely doing the eBay scene, the Etsy scene, maybe get engaged in Amazon FBA with clothing. I am not going. This program wasn't designed to really talk about Amazon a lot. Maybe we could do something down the road with that, but I wanted to throw some other things here. Out there, just some different possibilities for you guys that are if you're investing in clothing, selling locally. Why would you sell some clothing locally? Well, it's fast cash, same day. Who wouldn't do that? No fees, no worries. No returns, and again, increase cash flow. You want to increase the cash flow. Increasing cash flow is imperative. You have to get this money in every day, right? When you are a reseller, you're dealing with e-commerce. There's no guaranteed paycheck. Going back to forcing the auctions, doing that, you're trying to do everything you can in that week or that month to make a living. Let's face it, right? So any cash flow from other sources is key. You can make $40, $50, $100 a day, depending on what you're finding, selling it locally, and it doesn't just apply to clothing, guys, right? But okay, so where do we sell locally at? Facebook groups, they're everywhere. Every major city has a Facebook group, buy, sell, trade, that you can sell to people, trade to people, network with people. But yeah, clothing, you could sell clothing. Me and Kim sold all my daughter's Aeropostale and all these Hollister things all locally through Facebook, right? Did we get top dollar from? Of course not. But, we just got it for the fast money. Then you've got consignment shops. You got stuff that if you're picking up high-end brands and you have a local consignment shop up by you, you can make money there too. Drop the stuff off and consign it over there. If you've got places like Plato's Closet, Once Upon a Child, Style Encore, those places, you just need to find out what they buy, what brands, okay? And if you can get the cheat sheet from them, then you have another source, right? When you're at the thrift store, if you go, hey, wait, Plato's Closet will pay me $9 for these BKE jeans, then jump on it, right? Especially if they're sitting there, they're pretty much talking to you. The pair of jeans is saying, hey, Bob, buy me. They're only $1 because you can sell them at Plato's Closet or sell them online for $30. You know what I mean? But take advantage of these stores, and there's many of these other stores. Obviously we're all in different parts of the country here, but you localize that game, right? And find out what people and the stores want. If you can master that art, that skill, it's a life skill, guys. I mean, it moves further advanced from clothing. What kind of video games do people want? What kind of furniture? Start thinking outside the box. And again, this is just one little aspect of reselling that we're really focused here is clothing, but all this applies to other things. Now we're going to get into the arbitrage standpoint of it, okay? And this can apply for eBay. This can apply for Amazon. It can apply for a lot of different things, okay? Giving you guys some stores that I shop from. Online, I love Adidas.com. They have some amazing sales, and you just have to bookmark the website, find out when the sales are, have your little notebook out and say, hey, it's January 8th, and this is when the sale was. Write them down so you know when they are next year, okay? These big box stores online blow things out, guys, and I've made a killing flipping Adidas stuff, whether it's shoes, shirts, jackets, socks. I mean, I've really made a really good size income off of Adidas, and not a lot of people know about it. It's just something to add to your arsenal. Again, these aren't thrift store prices, okay? You got to buck up a little bit, but you're going to be able to get a good return on anything that's new. New items sell a lot better, 20 to 1 over a used item, guys. It's just a fact, right? Look at Gilt. I think it's Gilt.com. There's a lot of opportunity over there, and and then start finding your own. Start finding your other online stuff. There's thousands of websites, and there's deals all the time. There's always look at the clearance, all right, and then look at the market. When I say look at the market, I mean, can I flip that on Amazon? Oh, yeah, it's tanked over on Amazon. What about eBay? I mean, I sold a pair of, perfect example, Adidas. I bought these Adidas cleats for baseball, and they were size 11 up to 15. They were $5 a pair, blown out. I bought every one of them. And, I bought them in, let's see, when did I buy those? February? And I just recently sold those in October, right, for $45 a pair. And believe it or not, guess where? California, because baseball's starting up over here, guys, on the West Coast. For you guys that are in the Midwest or on the East Coast, you're going, man, who's playing baseball in October, November? You know what I'm saying? But out here they are. So it's just finding that deal, going, hey, where can you go buy a nice pair of $100 Adidas cleats for $40? eBay or Amazon, just depends. But look at those opportunities. And then as you master your skill, or maybe you're like, hey, the thrifts are kind of drying up over here and you've got some capital, go into these stores like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, off Saks Fifth Avenue, Ross, and especially the outlet malls. Find the outlet malls by you, and understand the brand names. That's the key. You got to buy a brand name. You can't go to Kohl's and buy Sonoma. Nobody cares about Sonoma. And some of these brands, you got to understand the price points to them. But if you can figure that out, find out what's out by you, and dominate the clearance, I mean, if you go to the TJ Maxx and you see Ralph Lauren socks for $3, buy them. They're selling for $20, okay? There's all these brands, guys. It's all the brands that we were talked about throughout this and continued on through the rest of the videos and some of the buying guides. So you just got to do your homework, right? It's endless, guys, is really what I'm saying to you. The opportunities are endless. And, I live in the middle of the desert here, and all of these opportunities are here for me. So they've got to be out by you. Okay, you just have to apply yourself, and you have to find out what works for you. You got to understand the price points. Is it worth buying that Thomas Dean shirt for $7 on clearance? Yes, because you could sell for 30 or 40. You know what I mean? Is it worth buying that Ralph Lauren polo shirt at TJ Maxx for $19.99 new? Probably not. You might not get $35 for it. You know what I mean? So it's big. Buy low, sell high. But also at the same point, get the ROI and get things that move. New clothing, man. You can have an eBay store with just nothing but new clothing and dominate it. Then utilize Amazon. You can crush it. You can definitely crush it. So now we're going to get into these selling strategies, and I'm just giving you my straight-up strategies that I've used. I've changed them. I'm always looking at different ways to speed up processes and stuff like that. And I think it's important to understand eBay of what's the approach. I am not an eBay employee, guys, and I'm not claiming to be the eBay master guru. I'm just, like I've said since day one, I'm an average Joe that goes around and tries to make a living. So all this is experience from me. This is the biggest thing here. I pride myself again on just talking about stuff that relates to me that I've done. Okay, we all could research the complete listings and come up with 500 brands that sell, right? Just because they sold doesn't mean that you could sell them, right? Everything I do is from my firsthand experience, from all the photos that you see, and everything that I do, right, is stuff that I've sold or I bought. So, understanding these pricing structures and strategies is key. But again, it's got to be up to you. What type of business do you want to run? Do you want to just do the fast flips? Maybe you just want to do the set it and forget it. Maybe you want to do the set it, forget it, and say, wait a minute, yeah, I see now nothing's selling, things are moving slowly, it's not what I expected. Maybe that's when you implement the auctions. Doing a mixture, with eBay and Etsy and Amazon and local. I mean, there's all these platforms, guys, and I would recommend utilizing them all. Not just for clothing, but, maybe DVDs, books, CDs, retail arbitrage, right? And then it comes down to, what is your time worth? Really, if you are busting your butt and you're spending 600 hours a week and you're listing things and it's Sunday and you're like, I've only made $100, your time is not worth much at that point, is it? Right? That's why, getting this fast cash going, the system, this auction system going, creating that paycheck for you every week, so you never really have to see the struggle. The struggle is ugly, guys. It's dirty. And I'm just giving you guys this information, right, is I know it's going to help you if you apply it to yourself, but I'll tell you what, if I knew this information from day one when I started, I don't think I would have struggled, guys, because I did that. I did the set it and forget it for years, right, and dealt with the ever-changing of eBay, dealing with the slow sales. I did. It almost bankrupted me, almost made me homeless. There was times where, electrical was being turned off in my house, going, what's going on? And I blame eBay. It's eBay. Damn, there's no buyers. No, I just wasn't proactive. I was stagnant. I was just doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and expecting better results, or expecting, next month will be better. No. You want things better, you got to go out there and change things and make things better, right? And understanding what your time is worth. Now, it's good to grasp that concept right off the bat if you're new to reselling. Managing your time, understanding your profit loss statements, understanding all that is key when you start. But if you're not and you're just running through at this, saying, hey, let me see if I can try this out, right? You're not going to know what your time's worth for a while until you're steady. I'm talking, let's say, 6 months, a year. You're steady. Now you're at 2 years, and that's when you're really going to understand it. You're going to go, hey, wait a minute, I'm pulling in 80K, and yeah, I am working, because this is work, guys. This isn't some magic pill that you swallow tonight, and you wake up tomorrow morning, your PayPal's is overflowed money. That PayPal's calling you saying, hey, Susie, I don't know what to tell you here, but we don't have enough room in the vault here for all your money because you just got paid from eBay overnight. So I guess what I'm saying, guys, is it's this financial freedom, it's this lifestyle that I know if you apply yourself and you go out there and implement these systems, these processes, that you can make this happen. I mean, seriously. I mean, if I can do it, I've never claimed to be the smartest guy in the room. I'm a pretty basic guy, but this is what's working for me, and I enjoy my life of financial freedom. I enjoy that. I can list a bunch of stuff the next 3 days and just kind of kick back for the next 2 days, or do whatever I want to, right? Or watch a movie with my kids, or what I'm saying. That financial freedom, and not just that, the worrying. There's a big downside to reselling that a lot of people don't talk about, and I'm going to get more to that and some other stuff, and not here, because this is more of a, I want you to be motivated. I want you to be uplifted. I want you, when you're done with watching this video and all the other information, I want you to start listing and seeing the results, right? But I think, this information is great for somebody who's new, whether you're part-time, maybe you're a weekend warrior, or you're full-time. Better yet, I know this information that I'm giving you here today for clothing can turn you from a part-time seller into a full-time seller by creating that paycheck. Okay, and we're not even talking about Amazon, guys. This is how advanced and this is how confident I am. If you just utilize the clothing, again, this is not for everybody, and it just depends on what type of business. So hopefully you've been keeping notes with your notepad, and you're asking yourself this question. This is the most important. What type of business do you want to run? Where do you see yourself in the future in 6 months? Where do you see yourself in a year? Maybe this is a stepping stone for you to make a quick $40,000. To pay off your mortgage, and then you're done. You're going to move on to do Amazon, right? You see what I'm saying? Just, you have to have a plan. You have to have a goal. You have to put it all in action. Let's get back to the strategies here, guys. Okay, so here's eBay strategy 1, auctions only. Okay, I recommend this for new sellers. Okay, and it's also for advanced sellers, but this could just be your only strategy. Hey, I'm not doing an eBay store. It's auctions only. Starting at $2, like you've been saying, Mike, and we add the shipping to it, and we're just going to let it rip and roll, right? Again, we've done the price points. We've understood that, at that price right now at $2 plus $4 shipping, if we get one bid, I can make money off my 50 cents or $1, right? It's not much, but it's something. And the game is to get interaction, to get people watching and bidding. Having these hundreds of items end every Sunday, every week, just nailing it, right? Buying this inventory on Wednesday at a half-off day at Goodwill, listing it up on Thursday at a 3-day auction, and then Sunday. Or whatever system you want that figures out for you. But the key point is listing the hundreds of auctions. 100, 200 auctions, guys. That's all it takes. $500, $1,000 in your pocket. Again, depending on what you're buying. Some of the advantages of this is the low inventory, less storage. You're going to be blown out so much. You will be spending, 3-4 hours after all those items sold packaging them up. But that's your money. There's your paycheck. So, with eBay, it's not like it's Amazon where you have to wait 2 weeks to get paid. You've done all the work. You listed all of it. You've sold it. Now you got your paycheck, but now you got to still do a little bit of work and ship the item out. Okay? And there's other systems you can implement into that when you're doing the listing process, the photographing. You can go all the way to having it prepped and ready to roll. And when it sells, you're slapping a sticker on there, the shipping label. But this type of strategy is fast cash, man. I mean, this is, again, creating that paycheck. Fast cash. You're getting it every day, every week, right? Or your set days when you're blowing out 200 items, and you're letting the buyers decide the market. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, because that is what eBay is. The buyers decide the market. Okay? Do they want to pay today? It's $14 for a Lacoste shirt, or is it only going to go for $6? We don't know. But are you a gambler? I'm a gambler. Let's roll the dice. All right. When you start to see some of the sell-through rates I'm going to be talking about here, guys, it's something to look at. Again, but this is just a rinse and repeat system. Strategy number 1. It's rinse and repeat. This is week 1. Okay, week 2. Boom, boom, boom. Keep moving. Strategy number 2. Pretty much the same as number 1. Everything I mentioned just now with number 1. And, it's when items don't sell, relist at a higher price. Buy it now. If nobody bids on it, what's the worst case scenario? You have the eBay store set up, right? Just throw it in your eBay store. Buy it now, best offer. Not a big deal. So you lost out on a quarter. Or maybe you took advantage of it when eBay gave you the 10,000 listings for free on auction, right? So understanding that, just because nobody bid on it this week doesn't mean you can't relist at an auction and it won't sell next week. That's all it is. Incorporating these longer tail items too, guys, the blazers, the shoes, is crucial. It's opening up that eBay store and list it with higher ticket items. Listing these higher ticket items and then blowing out the bread and butter, the staples of clothing. The Ralph Lauren's, the Façonnables, right? And only keeping the upper higher end type brands, right? Or the $70 pair of boots, or the $100 Zegna blazer, right? That's what you're leaving in your eBay store. So when those pop, when those go boom, 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 and you're cha-chinging, you're looking down going, oh, dang. So I did $400 today in auctions, and I just did another $300 for 4 big ticket items. Hey, now, that's money, right? The fast flips plus the long tail flips is steady income, in my opinion. It's what's worked for me. The fast flips, again, I mean the auctions, having that system, creating that paycheck. And you'll start to see those longer tail flips, those higher ticket price items move. And it's an awesome feeling when it happens and it all works out. Again, mixing in with to create the weekly sales with the store to entice buyers with the markdown manager. Start at 20% off, 30% off, 40% off, 50% off. When it gets to 40% to 60%, something in eBay's algorithm triggers. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm off base, but it seems like every time I do that, I get sales. It's creating sales. Okay, maximizing eBay with auctions and buy it now. I mean, that's it. That's eBay, isn't it, guys? People that tell me, dude, I can't. I tried auction off clothing, it doesn't work. And I always try to hear from them. What doesn't work? Well, I tried to auction off this Pendleton for $34.99. Well, that's why. Okay, you're waiting for that one buyer. It didn't happen. You have to create the urgency. You have to create the call of action, and that's what it is doing when you're setting a price at an auction for $2 plus shipping. You're creating a call to action on a brand that people are looking for, and you're trying to get two people to bid back and forth. Okay, I believe, again, If you list 200 to 300 items a month, guys, a month on this auction system, you could easily be at 20K a year. There's no doubt in my mind. Again, there's variables, but I'm just legitimately throwing this out there. Okay, I think you can do six figures. It just depends. Again, it's up to you. What's your motivation like? What's your drive? What's your hustle? Right? Do you have the hustle? Are you tired of where your life is right now? Are you tired of, living in that podunk house or driving that beater that keeps breaking down? Let's make this change today, people. Let's make a change. Let's work, Let's not sit here and just go and worry about the past and worry about, what the ex-husband did or, you know what I mean? Let's just put all that behind us and move forward and start making this happen. Okay? Now here I'm throwing some numbers at you guys, right? This is just numbers I've been calculating through my eBay business. 30 to 75% sell-through rate, 12 months a year is where I'm at with the auctions, guys. And it's typically the average median is about 60%. Okay? That's huge. All right? Again, auctions drive traffic, equal more sales. There's no doubting that. There's no denying that. But if you are sitting here going, there's nothing selling on eBay, and you don't have auctions because you're not driving traffic. Okay? 100 items weekly should net you, if you sell those 100 items, so let's say you list 150 and 100 flip on Sunday. Yeah, you're going to be busy Monday, don't get me wrong, package up those 100, but realistically, if you're buying the right brands, you're buying stuff that's in demand, you should be making $300 to $800 a week, okay? New sellers, if you're new to eBay and you're dealing with the limits, you're going to see an increase in your listings, okay? You could turn to eBay and say, hey, you only let me list 100 items, and they see that you've flipped all these items, they're going to unlock you before they unlock the guy that just wants to have the big eBay store. Trust me. We've done this with 3 or 4 people, all right? And that's going to help your business because if you're new to eBay, those limitations are hard, okay? But this is a tip that I've seen that eBay actually likes. So, again, creating that paycheck rather than waiting. That waiting game, you can wait until the day you die and sit there and say, man, oh my God, I should have just sold this stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's stuff. It's used clothing. What does it matter? What's the emotional attachment to it? Okay? What's your situation? Do you just have a whole freaking room full of clothing and you're like, I don't feel like listing it today? You got to motivate yourself. Throw on some Fleetwood Mac or throw in Tupac or whatever it takes. Throw in Yanni for you to put some, get amped and start taking photographs and get stuff listed, right? And then, then the big reward comes is when the stuff sells, guys, and your bank's filling up with cash, you're paying your bills, and you want to go buy the $9 Starbucks drink, right? I'm telling you, today's money is better than tomorrow's, okay? And then utilizing the long tail aspect of it, saving this money, okay? It's huge. It's absolutely huge. You have to give this a try. This information I talked about with you guys today, you've got to give this a try, okay? You paid for this, guys, and I'm giving you all the information I can on the clothing, right? But you got to give this a try. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to implement it. If you can't implement it, how do you know if it's ever going to work? Because you have to try. So let's make that happen, right? Let's make that happen. Here's some hard numbers, guys. Viewers and watchers. This is just typical what you're going to see, okay? The top here, I know it's cut off, but it's this left column here is watchers. Look at the watchers. 10, 15, 11, 9, and this is all stuff, guys, that I've showed you already. Brands and stuff, or stuff that's in the other videos, okay? Bids, 2, 1, 2. Look at the views. Do you see the difference in that compared to your buy it nows? Right? It's a traffic. Here, more data here. Listings with bids. Okay, so currently here with this data here, we had 79 auctions rolling. We already had 42 bids on them. 42 bids. 50% sell-through rate. Here's another one. Okay, that was after 24 hours. This was the following day. We had 52 bids. Look at how the sell-through rate is jumping up. It's getting more visibility, and people are rolling with it. Okay, here now we're getting down to crunch time. I know you can't see this top number, but it's 18 watchers. Okay, we're getting close to that 24, 30-hour mark, right? It's getting ready to end. Look at the watchers. It's jumped up. Look at the views. You see what I'm saying? This is driving traffic. And this is driving traffic without social media. This is just utilizing why you're paying. This is utilizing eBay. This is why you're paying them 25 cents for an auction. This is why you're paying them for the eBay store. They have the traffic, guys. Okay, here's another one I did. 70 listings, 48 bids. Look at the sell-through rate in that. And then finally here, another one. Right, listings with bids, 24. We had 34 auctions going. It happens, guys. It's out there. You just got to want it. You got to want it, and you got to understand it, and you got to believe in it. And trust me, I'm not steering you wrong here, guys. I'm not steering you wrong. I'm just trying to help you. I want to get back to this here because it's imperative that, the takeaway from today's video is the auctions and speeding up the process of the photography, okay? Obviously, the image to the left looks good, right? It's on a mannequin, but I can knock out 7 of these t-shirts compared to 1 of that, okay? And you just have to understand the only way you're ever going to know, whether you listen to me or not, is to go out and try it and do it yourself, and you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Creating the system, guys. Laying it flat increases productivity. Again, then, having less pictures, 1 to 2 typically. This is going to give you more time. That means more listings, which means more money, right? And you got to remember, laying it flat in those photographs, go look on SaksFifthAvenue.com or Macy's. That's how dress shirts look. They're not on mannequins. Yeah, sometimes they're on a mannequin, sometimes they're on a model, but majority of the time they're laid flat, and that's what it is. Big brand name stores use this approach because it sells. It works, right? Both systems do work, but in terms of productivity and speeding things up and getting things done and getting more listed, lay it flat. Mannequin, some cons here. It's time consuming. It's time consuming. You got to put it up on the mannequin. You got to wrap the shirt around here. All this stuff. And again, laying it flat, I think you can get 4 to 5 more done in the same time frame. Using that mannequin for just blazers and jackets is essential. Yeah, that's when you use the mannequin. The other thing is the mannequin shots, they do look nice. But it's used clothing, guys. Buyers don't care. Buyers don't care. I've done the studying, the trial and error with mannequin versus flat, vice versa. It doesn't matter. Buyers don't care. Buyers don't care that I just slap on t-shirts on my table and snap a photograph. And it doesn't even show them the sleeves or the bottom of the shirt or the blank back. They don't care. And, that's just the difference. You're going to speed things up, guys. That's it. So I appreciate you guys hanging in here with me. Get some final words here. Clothing is abundant, guys. And, I keep stressing this price points because it's really what it's all about. You have to find out if there's profitability in your area. And you got to first find out if there's profitability for you to even do this system. Utilizing that flat method is a big takeaway, guys. It's going to save you some time. And you're going to make some money. The $2 Let It Rip program, it works, guys. It works. It definitely works. It just depends on, again, what you're buying. And you let the market decide. Okay? If you start today, this will make an impact. Again, if you just apply it, you have to apply this information. Does this information work? I know it does. There's not a doubt in my mind. But I can't twist your arm to make you do this. It comes down to you. You have to be able to say, listen, I'm willing to try something different and listen to what this guy's telling me. That's it, right? Of course, the results with all this are going to vary based on the brands, okay? But just stick to the goods, the bread and butters, the staples. Stick to those brands. Again, look outside the box from time to time, but don't go on the Croft and Barrel run. Don't go at the church telling, well, hey, this looks like a good bargain for me. This is all nothing but Arrow and Croft and Barrel. You're not going to sell those. That's a waste of time. And again, hopefully you've gotten stuff written down. Hopefully you got some of these strategies written down. Hopefully something sparked some interest here to motivate you to go out there and accomplish this goal of this financial freedom, this lifestyle. But always testing and always educating and always researching, finding other strategies. Add things to these. Take things away, right? Whatever it is, find out your system and find out your business, right? You got to understand, guys, you cannot give up here, okay? If you're going to give up here, if you give up on something like this, you're going to give up everywhere else, right? Won't you? Let's just face it. I mean, if you're just going to keep giving up, how are you ever going to accomplish anything if you're just constantly giving up? Here you got to say to yourself, what? I'm going to listen to Mike, and I'm going to try it for a year. And then I want you to come to me a year from now and tell me what's happened, right? Yes, there's competition there, guys. There's competition in the thrift stores. But nobody, I'm not saying nobody, but majority of people aren't using these methods. They're stuck in the time frame of just set it and forget it. If you think I'm crazy with this, guys, just look at the people on YouTube talking about clothing. Just setting it and forgetting it. And what I've noticed, and because I've talked to a lot of these people and seen these, people give up, they quit, they move on to something else, right? They just said, the heck with this. These people are nuts with the clothing, it doesn't sell. I'm giving you the tips, the advantages, the systems that work for me. And that's all I can do, right? But you can't give up. You can't give up. If I can do this, guys, you can do this. Again, go through this whole program, go through all the videos. We're going to have the Q&A. Again, there's a 30-minute consultation with me. I want you to have this notepad ready. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to, use me so you can get the information out of my head to help you with your business and help you grow. That's all I want, right? But I want you to keep me posted, you guys paid for this service. I want you to implement it, and I want you to keep me posted on your results, some feedback, whether it's good or bad, whether you're like, hey, this is a complete joke. I knew all this. Right? Whatever it is, guys. I appreciate any feedback I can get. Any testimony would be terrific. I'm really, truly here to help you. I said that earlier here that, when I started my YouTube channel, guys, it was there to help people. It was always there to help people from day one with clothing. And, I said to myself, thinking back on this, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw out this package here and just give it my all with all of these tips that I know and make it affordable for people. So, again, it relies on you guys to make it happen. I'm just giving you the tools, this motivation, some methods, some strategies, and you just have to make it happen. Before we end it here, guys, I want to just personally thank every one of you that have watched this, that have paid for this service. It means a lot to me. Me and my family, obviously, we're not billionaires or anything of that nature. So all the money does help out, It goes to bills, it goes to, my daughter's cheer. It goes to a lot of things. It goes to the basics, guys. And I really appreciate you guys investing in me here with this. It means a lot to me. And, I'm a really honest person. And, if you were to see me and you bought me a beer at the bar, you'd be like, this guy is pretty stand up, right? But all I want to do at the end of the day is help others. And I want results. I want people, there's nothing more humbling than helping somebody and educating somebody and turning around and watching them succeed. That's what gets me going. That's what makes me moving forward. That's what makes me have more of these paid contents or more videos on YouTube. Is just the drive. It's all it is, right? It's no different than you guys out there that are selling online, right? If things aren't selling and you've tried every other option, well, yeah, then you got to change your business, right? But I look forward to talking to you guys very soon on the consultation, the Q&A. Again, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate all this. Just take this away, guys, right now and go out and make it happen. Whether this is 2 o'clock in the morning you're watching this or 7 in the morning, just make it happen, right? Get these goals in line, get things strategized, right, and start creating that paycheck. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.